But the tools weren't working. I'm going to shock you. Something was not working in Canvas. So I'm going to put the presentation and the sign in back in the chat one more time for y'all to have, and then we'll get started. Oops. I think I put the presentation in there twice. So one is the sign in, one is the presentation. The one that says Canvas Tools, that's the presentation. The one that says sign in, of course, is the sign in. Okay, so let's get started. We're recording, in case you didn't know, and I will put the recording out there on probably the playlist. Okay, so when I've created this menu of just helpful things, there's 2 pages to the menu. So the Google assignment, using the Google Assignment LTI external tools. So some of the features that you may not get with just the cloud, but we'll talk about that in a second, is that you can make a copy for each student. It also gives you an originality report, so you can see if if it's a Google Doc that they're supposed to turn in, you can see if they plagiarized it. You can see the websites that they went to get it. And also, if it's something that is shared between students, you will be able to see that too. So like if someone didn't do their work and they just sent a copy of their work to their friend, and then that friend just, instead of taking copy of this, that, and the other thing, they just put their name on it, you'll be able to see that with an originality report. You can also add a rubric, and but the one bad thing is that the student submitted work does not pair with SpeedGrader yet. It's coming soon, and I talked to Zach this morning, who's one of our I3s, and he went to a meeting yesterday that they said that for some teachers it's working and for some teachers it is not. So I guess it just depends. It's coming soon. I do know that, or I wouldn't be wanting you guys to do this. Oopsie. Sorry, do this tool so badly. And at the bottom, oh my goodness, I'm just having struggles today. At the bottom, I do have a how-to video, but of course, every time I try to get to it, this comes up, so that's okay. We're good. So I have a how-to video for you guys that goes step by step through all of this. Okay. One thing that you do need to know is, for the integration to be successful, all your students must register their Google Drive account with Canvas. And I've given click sheets to do that. We all did it in the beginning, but I'll go over that today too. I also highlighted what that tool looks like when you go to use it, and the old way we were using it. And it can support a bunch of G Suite products at the same time, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's get started, and I'll just close my mouth and get to working. If you want to go to your Canvas and practice along with me, you are welcome to. I will go super, super, super slow so that we can do it. So basically, this tool is very useful when you are creating an assignment. Okay, so if you go to your Canvas, and I'm playing in my sandbox so that I don't mess up my real classes. If you go to your assignments and click on assignment, well, first let's do the integration thing that I apologize, that you would have to do with the kiddos. Okay, so that I think is in this set of settings. I've been all over today because we're working on something else. So let me make sure. Nope, it's in the other settings. I apologize. Okay, so when you click on your account and you go to settings, the integration tool that we're talking about that the kids have to do is they have the same settings that you have, and it's in their whole account settings. So when you open up this thing, it's usually over here in your other services. So for the kiddos to be able to fully utilize it, you have to have them go to this settings, and a lot of you have already done that, and click on the other settings. Just click on the Google Drive. And if you have not done this, make sure you do this too. And then authorize Google Drive access. And it'll make you go through the sign-in process, and it wants to make sure that you allow it to actually merge with your Google Drive, so it can dig all through your Google Drive. And when you allow that, then this will pop up over here. Sometimes when kiddos say that they can't access your documents or that they can't see them, this might be part of the problem. So if you'll walk them through that process, I'm sorry, it's the settings that is on here. And of course, with everything, well, it's not making me save it. So I don't have to save it. It's just automatic. So with everything you do though, most 9 times out of 10, you have to save. So let's go back to my dashboard. That is the very most important step for the kiddos. And if your kiddos are having struggles, that might be part of the reason why. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to go to assignments. We're going to click on the green over here on the right-hand side, the plus assignment button. And we're going to add an assignment. If you're doing this under modules, you would do it the same way, okay? So we're going to give this assignment a name. We're going to call it test or practice. And then I always type in here just because I can. It's practice. And so if you're putting points on it, we know we do this. And then the group is assignments. And it's going to display the grade by points. But here's where we're going. We're going to this, where the submission type. And we're going to click on external tools. Once we click on that external tool, if you look a little below it, it gives you a box where you can see the external tool. And right beside that, it says find. So if you're doing this with me, we're going to click on the find button. And if you didn't know, when you mess with these external tools, you can actually pull a video from your Canvas. You can go to Destiny Library, which I don't know where that is. I've already integrated Flipgrid, and so I can do my Flipgrid assignment through this. The Google Drive Cloud assignment can be found here. Google Assignment Tools, the 1.3. Khan Academy, who knew it? Seriously, who knew it? Who knew it was here? Nearpod, because I added that, and Pear Deck. And New Analytics, which is a whole nother tool that is acting up too. So right now, for this intents and purposes, we are going to go to the LTI 1.3 tool. So LTI 1.3 is the one that you want to use. And when you click on it, it opens up like this. Or it doesn't, because it's, oh, yay! Yesterday it wasn't opening. That's what's part of the problem. That's why I'm so excited. Okay, so then you hit the continue. And it gives you a window that looks like this. Now if you look under created a Google assignment, you will notice that this check plagiarism for originality, if you turn that on, you can get information from that. So the next step to this process is, and it's a process, and I apologize, you are going to click the attach. So once you click that attach, it takes you to your Google Drive, okay? So if you know the name of the assignment and it doesn't pull up right away, you can just search it like this, because this will show my recents, my most recents that I've been working on. Or I created for this thing a 3-2-1 activity. So I just made it up. It's a Newton's Laws 3-2-1. So if I add it right there, you notice the difference here is that each student will get a copy, and it looks just like it used to look in Google Classroom. So every student will get a copy. You don't have to worry about them sending you something back that you can't access because they haven't opened the sharing settings, or you don't have to worry about giving them a copy of your stuff that's the original copy and they're all writing on it, or giving them a copy of your stuff that's view only and they can't write on it and then they have to make a copy of it, and so forth, so on. With this tool, this is one of the highlights of this tool, every student will get a copy. So then you can put your points here, and you can add a rubric if you already have those created. Some people do, and there are rubrics available. Someone told me there are rubrics in that ready-made rubrics that are just generalized that you can get from the Commons. So I think Zach told me that the other day. So you can also add a due date here. So let's say it's due on the 29th, even though there's no school that day. That's cool. And so when I hit the create button, I'm still not done. And this is the part that a lot of people are missing, and then it doesn't show up for the kiddos. And this is the important part. So once you hit create, then you have to hit select also. So that green select, that tool should show up right here in your with your stuff. And so when you go through and you add a due date, and you don't have to add an available date because once you publish it'll be immediately, but you can if you want to. If you want to delay this, that the kids don't get it till tomorrow, you can add that available date for tomorrow. And then once you hit at the bottom, save and publish, and my internet's slow because I'm in my office, you should see one file attached right here, and that's how you know that it's going to be there. Okay, and then you still have an opportunity if you decide, okay, I trust these kids, said no teacher ever. If you decide you trust these kids and you want to turn that off, you can still turn that off or turn it on at this point. If you forget to turn it on originally, then you can turn it on at this point. If you open the window, oops, it's not doing it. Okay, so that's not working. Well, usually when I open the window, you should be able to see the assignment too. And so if you click on these 3 dot boxes, you can also manage your people. I don't have people in this course, but you guys do. So that's how that feature works. Your due date can be changed here. You can change everything right up to this point. And your kids will see it a little bit differently. Unfortunately, whenever we do student view with these assignments, but I'll try it. Sometimes because you're the teacher on the assignment, it doesn't exactly work out. So let me try it with the home page. And click on student view. And go to that assignment. Pretty sure it's not going to work though. I hate to say it like that. This is the one I created. And see, it says I'm already linked as an instructor, but and if I hit continue, it may or may, it's going to give me instructor view. But what your students will see, and I wish I had the other side, is they will get that assignment like they used to see it in Google Classroom. And so I think because so many people are switching to Canvas, and before schools were actually switching to Canvas, Canvas is a platform that most colleges are using. I don't think they saw the value in integrating a lot of the tools with Google Classroom, but since we are all already using Google Classroom, they are working on it. And so when I said that sometimes it's not working, the LTI tools, it's because it's new. Okay. So do we have any questions about that part so far? And I'll check the chat because I also have you up on my other one. What kind of assessment did you put in? What kind of assignment, and how do you add Google form that is a test into Canvas? Okay, so I'm going to show you, you can add a form through this too, and we're going to do it all over again, and then I'll show you the last way, because I talked to Mr. Ferris, sent me some information, and he said that when you use the other tool, now it's also making a copy for every student. So we'll walk through that. Okay, so what kind of assignment did you put in? I was just putting in a test assignment, and it was actually the tool that I used was actually a Google Doc. But so here's another part of the integration tool that I actually really like. And I'm going to just create another assignment. So I click on the green box, and this time I'm going to use the rich text editor to add my assignments. So, well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to do that last. I'm sorry. So, so here's a test. We're doing it again. And this time, well, no, I am going to use the rich text editor because you can add more than one assignment. So this time I'm going to use, to do that, I'm sorry, let me slow it down. When I see this toolbar right here, that's right above the big box, the big open box, if I go down to the one that is a plug, I can click on that. So basically, I'll do it one more time. I gave this assignment a name, and then I went under Edit. See, you see Edit, Insert, Format, Tools table. And then I went where it says 12-point paragraph, the B for bold and the text styles. And then there's a link. There's where you can add images. There's where you can add video and audio. There's where you can add some documents. If I click on the plug, which is the next one, it takes me here. And so this is another way to add an assignment. And you can use either Google Apps. Oops, click on it. Okay, or you can't. There it goes. Okay, you can use Google Apps and it'll bring you to this window. And this is also in my drive, and this time I can do embedded. And so let's say that I want to have the kids do Newton's laws. And I have a PowerPoint over that. And can the kids write on a Google Doc if we upload it this way? Absolutely. And it's just like what they would get in if you loaded it through Google Classroom. Okay, so if I click on, let's say I have a card sort activity that I want to share with them. And so I can embed that. And it's retrieving the content. And they will actually see it. So they'll be able to see it. And when they open it, and you can see it, and then when you open it, they can work on it if it's not a PDF. Of course, I picked the only one that's a PDF. And it'll also make a copy for each student. Okay. And then let's say that I wanted to add something else to this and go back to Google Apps. And I wanted to have it all right there in a row for the kiddos. First of all, let me click out of that real quick. And let me click on this and, oopsie, I made it disappear. I was going to add a space between them, but of course I made it disappear because that's what I do. So I'm going to go back and add that one. Okay, so I'm going to go back and add this one. And I'm going to embed it. Oh, I clicked on something else, and that's what I was looking for the first time. And then I want them, so I want them to have the PowerPoint, and then I also want them in the same assignment to have. So I clicked on it again, and I want them to have that Newton's 3, 2, 1 activity. It's saying no, but I know it's in there because I just saw it. Newton's. So let me click on Newton's law again and look for the 3, 2, 1, which I know is in there, but it's not showing up. So let's just say I wanted them to have this also. I can embed that also. So they'll have, if this is something that they need to write on, they can write on this, but they'll also have the PowerPoint, and it'll all be embedded right here in the rich text editor. And at this point, I can still go and use my LTI to add more tools so that instead of making several assignments, I can add everything under one assignment. So let's say that I just wanted to put in the rich text editor section of it, if I just wanted to put that one assignment, and now it doesn't want to work for me. Is it thinking? But I can also come and, let me try it again. I'm sorry. A lot of times it's my internet in here, but sometimes it's just that these tools are not working. So, and it might take you going back a couple of times to do it, because I'm going to tell you, to be honest, and this is what I was discussing before we went online with the other one-to-one coaches. Yesterday, Rockwall went online also, and several other districts are going online, and they're all using Canvas. So Canvas's server is overloaded. So if a lot of things are not opening quickly for you, or like this, don't open at all, if you come back and try it in a little bit, that just means that it's just too many people right now using it. So a lot of districts went online that are large. Okay, so can they do a Google form where I can still get results in Google Sheets? Absolutely. So let me show you how you would do that. That's where you would use this again, and hopefully it'll load this time. If not, we'll create. Oh, there we go. Okay, see. So sometimes it just takes a minute. So when you would use that like an LTI tool, that's probably the easiest way, but you can also do it through the rich text editor, which I gave you all. Videos for this. So I'm not leaving you with nothing. I've already created the videos there in the presentation. And before we leave, I'll put the presentations in the slides again in the sign-in. So right here is the sign-in that y'all are doing right now. I can add that. And it's not letting me. So, okay. So sometimes you just got to do it again. So let me hit attach again. And if it doesn't let me this time, then we'll go the rich text editor way. And it's not, it says it cannot attach as a form. It can, but if it doesn't work that way, just go back to the rich text editor and let's delete this and attach that form. So we're going back to the plug. We're going to use a different application, I think. It's only letting me use Google Apps now because I need to redo this. And so we're going to look for the sign-in form. Hopefully it'll come up. Okay. I'm looking for it, and it's, we can use this one. So, and if I embed it through the rich text editor, hopefully, nope, that's the sheet. Hopefully, you have to have the exact name if you're going to use it that way. But let me start this over and I can go through the tools in this one. So let me click on a new assignment and add this assignment right here. And now we're going to go through the rich text editor, and it's only giving me tools. So let me hit view all. There we go. And if I go to the same way, I don't know, let me try it this way. Select. This is the better way to do it. So there it is right there, the sign in, and it's a Google form. And it's still saying forms can't be added. Hold on, because I figured it out. So I know it can be done, and it might be through the apps. So because I did it the other night and I know it can be done. In fact, I added the form, I added a bunch of stuff. So let me go through and go back to where we were, go back to my assignment and reselect. So go to the plug and view all. And it might have been through another. Nope, it was definitely through there, and I did put it in there and I saw it, so I know it happens. I just have to find the right form. And so let me search sign in for Google Tools and Integration. There it is. And so I'm going to embed that one. Okay, it's giving me the business today, but it will do it. And it has done it in the past. And it might be because the tools aren't working properly today, but it can do it. And I did it through this way. And I think I demonstrated that in the video. So I apologize, it's not working right. But I make that apology a lot because a lot of the times it's not working right. So the next thing, so when I get that figured out, I promise you I will get back with you. So if you look on this, see, these are all the tools that you can do. And I did a quick little demonstration of this. And it did work. And I created all those tools. And when I hit continue, I attached them. It allowed me to attach all those tools at once. And that's through the integration. So let's go back to the integration, and hopefully it might work this time and it might not. So if it doesn't work, and I just close out my presentation, but I'll get it. If it doesn't work, I give it some time, and it might come back up and it might not, because like I said, sometimes it's very glitchy right now because a lot of districts have gone online. So I have been able to do that. So if we click on assignments and we go to assignment, let me try it again this time and hopefully it'll work. Test. Okay, so using the external tools, the Google 1.3, and I hit continue. And so we turn on the plagiarizer. I always just turn that on. And so it might let me do this time. It didn't attach. So let's try another tool, because if it doesn't attach, so that one did attach. And then you can add another tool. And I did add and try the form one more time, and it's not attaching, but usually I have gotten it to do that in the past. So it might be the system. And I can attach my Newton's Law. I can attach all the tools the kids will need, and it'll make a copy for all the kids just using the 1.3 integration tool. So, and apparently I can't attach right now. I can't attach the form, but I have in the past. And if you see on the little video, it did attach for me and it did allow me to save it. So I don't know what's going on today, that the tools aren't working properly, and they weren't working properly yesterday. And I do apologize for that. So once I do all this and attach all these tools using the 1.3, the kids will get them an assignment. It'll make a copy for every one of the students, and they will be able to submit that copy to you. So that's the beautiful part about it. And if I save it, and it's very glitchy today. So it's saying that I can't attach one of these files, but they're all like the ones I did before. So unfortunately, and I do apologize, but it does work. And it may not be working currently, but it does work. And sometimes if it doesn't work, you guys just have to keep trying to push it through. And may get there, and it may not that day. It might take a day or so, because right now the system is very glitchy. And yesterday it was doing the same thing. It worked sometimes and it didn't work at all. And then when I was testing out the stuff on the presentation, it wasn't working at all. Oh, Ms. Cliven said it did the same for her. Thank you, because it does that. You're making me not sound crazy now. And I think, yeah, when we met yesterday, we talked about this. And what I'm adding into the chat is just the sign in and the presentation. So I talked to Mr. Ferris, and Mr. Ferris said when you attach through the Google Cloud, which I left it up, so I'm going to try to go back. So now through Google Cloud Assignment, it used to not attach where it would make a copy for each kid. But Mr. Ferris said he's been playing with it, and he's actually done it, and it has made a copy for every kid. So if you go through the Cloud Assignment, you should get the same result. Might as well stick with Newton since he's working so well for me, or not. So I can attach this, or let's do this, and the kids will get their own copy of it. That's what he said. And every time you put something through the external tool, you have to hit select, or it's not going to show up. And so then when you go and you put a due date with it, and you save and publish that, when you go to look at it, it should be there for you to look at. And according to him, I haven't had the experience with it. He says that it will make a copy for every student. But if you're in doubt with that, just go ahead, and you're not sure, just go ahead and do the LTI tools. They will work one day, I promise. It'll all work one day. So we're doing grading tomorrow, and grading's glitchy today. So we'll see what happens tomorrow when we do that. So those are basically the tools that are integrated with this. And let me go, did I close out that PowerPoint? Nope, there it is. Let me go back to the presentation. And so, and move to the next page. So this click sheet that I was talking about is the integration sheet for the kiddos. So even if the kids have done this, you can just put this in your announcements so the kids can make sure that they did it in case they didn't. And it's just what I showed you guys in the beginning, and also make sure you've done it also. And then if we go on to the next slide. Okay, oopsie, it went one slide too many. Okay, so using the external app and rich text editor is what I taught you the second time, or which was a little bit of confusing. And I just want to remind you that that's through the plug. If you bypass everything else and you go to the plug, sometimes when you apply a link, the kids don't know to click on it, but if it's there and it's embedded and they just push the window to open it up, they can work on it. And it also will make a copy for each student. So you can embed Google Tools in assignments, announcements, discussion from the Drive. You can even work with Studios, Commons, and YouTube. And I have a tutorial for that, which is a video. And so it'll show you how to do that. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is actually using this tool through Studio, which I really did like. Let me find my name as Forrest. Okay, let me go back. I might have to open it again because now it's in a whole nother place and it's not going. Okay, so let me reopen my Canvas. So I was going to show you how to use this, the plug tool, and to go to the Commons and to go to Studio, because I thought it was pretty good. So when I'm creating an assignment, so I'm going back to my course, which I'm playing in my sandbox. And I go to assignments. And I click on the plus for assignments, which is how if you want to go through your modules and click on the plus to add your assignment through your modules, it's going to give you the same view. So, so right now this is a test, of course, practice. And so when I click on the plug and I hit view all, it gives me all these options right here that I can add resources from. This YouTube for Schools is different from the regular YouTube. And so it's whitelisted for our district, so you really can't use that, but it gives me all these other tools. So if I want to get something from my Canvas Studio that I created, and if you don't know, you can use videos and create questions and stuff along the way in the video for kiddos in Canvas Studio. It's a lot like Edpuzzle, where you create your own though. And so if I go to Canvas, sorry. Okay. Oops, it's just moved. Okay. If I go through Canvas, and if I've already created videos in my Canvas, then I can add one of those videos that I created into this assignment. Oopsie, it says nothing here yet. Okay, let's go back to my library. I can add, well, I'll select this one. I can add one of those videos that I created and embed it in my rich text editor where the kids can see it right here. And so they can actually work on it through here, and they can answer the questions that you did or whatever you created in Studio. So that's one way to use this box right here. And let me get rid of this one if I can. Okay, if I wanted to go add something from the Commons, okay, and I want to use a Commons favorite, you have to go through the Commons and favorite it first. And by what I mean, I'll show you that in a second. So actually, the only embeddable types that you can use that are through the Commons, you get a document through the Commons, you can use videos from the Commons, audio, and images. Well, because I was doing this whole Newton's Laws thing, I went with an image from my Commons. And so now that I know my embeddable types, when I go to Commons to favorite things, then I know that I can only embed a few things. So I can use this image, and that's what I was using the 3-2-1 activity with. So if I go to my LTI tools, hold on, let me move this forward so I don't make it disappear, because I've done that a million times. So I go back to the plug and I use my LTI tools, And I'm going to try to find that 321 activity that I was talking about. And I select that file. And I'm looking for the Newton's Laws 321 activity for the kids. I can add it with the photo. And it will make a copy for every student. So okay. So when I attach it here, the kiddos have their copy and they have the image and they can do the activity, and I can put the directions in here and the kids will see it like that. Okay. So that's one way to add an assignment. And let me get rid of this. And so I promised you I would show you how to go to the Commons. So when you go to the Commons, it's this little arrow with the horseshoe around it. And you want to go find something that maybe you can use to embed for an assignment, you have to add it to your favorites. So we know that the embeddable types was images and stuff like that. So if you want to filter, it'll take video, audio, images, and documents. So let's say I want a document that's in the Commons that one of my teacher friends have shared with me. So I'm going to click on documents, and it's going to give you some documents you can use. You can further search the teacher's name, however you want to do it. So let's say that I wanted to utilize this document right here. So I'm going to click on the document, and it'll open it up for me, and I'll be able to evaluate whether I really want to use it or not. And if I decide this is a good document for me to use, for me to go get it from the Commons to embed it in the rich text editor, I need to add it to my favorites, and I just click it like that. And it should it'll tell you that it's added to my favorites. I don't have to download it or anything. And if I go back to my searches and I actually look in my favorites, those are all the things that I added to my favorites, and that document's right here. And so then when I'm creating that assignment in Rich Text Editor, and let's see if the assignment's still there. It may not be. I'm just clicking the back button so I don't have to do a bunch of back work. That assignment's still there. So if I'm going to add the assignment in Rich Text Editor, now that I have that document, I can go to the Commons, and it has to be favorite or you can't use it, and just add it through there. Slowly but surely. I'm telling you, we're hitting the struggle bus today, and it may not show up as, because it's just a document. It'll show up to this way, and that's fine too. And so when I save and publish, and no tell, oh, it has to have a name, test. Okay, and when I, oh, it's giving me a bunch of warnings. Okay, and I left this blank. I don't really need this, so I'm going to cancel this. I guess I could let it select. Nope. Let me cancel that. So it's, hopefully it won't make, yep, it's making me find a tool. So, oh, I can click out of that because I can just do this. And I hit save and publish. It'll show up as a clickable link. And unfortunately, that was not an embeddable one. And when the kids click save, it'll get in their drive because it's actually a PDF. So this document was a PDF. So the kids will save it and open up that way, and then they can submit it that way. So that's just a couple of options, and I know our time is running out, and I'm gonna check the chat real quick to make sure I don't have any more questions that I didn't answer. The Google form, you should, where you can still get this, but like I said, it's been very glitchy. So I will check on that with my team too to make sure that they haven't removed that option. But when I created this presentation the other night, I was able to do that. And so it's also in the tutorial. So it'll show you in the tutorial. But I will double check and make sure that that has not been taken from us, because I know they did some updates to fix the tool thing so that it did speak to SpeakGrader. And that was a big thing that people wanted. So if you don't have any questions, our time is now up. And these are just quick trainings, and I try to leave you with something. So if you click on anything that's highlighted in yellow, you should have a training window. And if you have any more questions or want a different kind of tutoring that maybe works with the tools, I apologize. I am so sorry. These tools are so glitchy. It's frustrating. But when we finally get on board and we finally get rolling, rocking and rolling, I think that you will learn to love the tools. But thank you guys for coming. And don't forget to sign in for me. And I'm going to go ahead and put, because I captured it all together, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the link. And this has been recorded. So if you want a recording, just let me know. And I also will put it on the playlist, because I did create the playlist, and the playlist is ongoing. So whenever I find out something new, or I get a new tutorial, or I get something I can share with you guys, I'm going to add it to the playlist. So thank you guys for coming. And thank you. And I apologize for the tools being so glitchy. If you have questions and want to stay around and ask me questions, that's perfect. If not, then that's all I have for y'all.
Ardell, how do you access the playlist?
Oh, I'll put the link to the playlist in the chat. I created the playlist and I sent it out a few weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's a work in progress. It's a living document. So this living document actually has training videos, and I'm trying to categorize them and color code them so it's easy for y'all to look at. So, and the videos I did today, I don't know if I put them on there yet, but they will be on there. And it's slow and it's glitchy, just like everything else we have going on with Canvas. I really do believe in this product. I have friends, like my daughter used it in high school. I mean, in college, and she loved it, but she used it as a student. So I do think that they're modifying it a lot to work for middle school and high school students. So at one point, it's going to be really good, I think. Any other questions? I added the playlist to the chat. So if you want the playlist, and I'll send it back out as an email. Probably. And so tomorrow, join us, and we're doing grades. It's not just me. Oh, Tia, you have a question?
Yes, for a comment. So whenever I'm adding an assignment, but the Google form, I use that paperclip looking thing.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been doing it that way, but like the students, they keep asking me, well, how do they submit it on Canvas? I don't know what to click, but I just go to Google Forms. So is there something I'm supposed to click to let them submit on Canvas? Does that make sense?
They should, if you added this through the LTI tools, it should be submittable. And
okay.
If you're just clicking on the attachment and attaching it as an attachment,
yeah,
then I don't know, they're probably going to have to submit the link back to you. But if it's a Google form, if they fill out the Google form, you can get on the spreadsheet, you'll get their answers.
Yeah. Okay.
No matter what. So they really don't have to submit that back to you, because you'll get their answers in the spreadsheet where you collect their answers.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else? No, that's Tia. Anybody else? Okay. Well, that's all I have for you. And I appreciate y'all coming. Thank you guys so much.